Welcome to TradeTheMBI.com. This is John. This report is for the 23rd, and well, the action was a little soft. No surprise there. We're starting to make now a lower histogram here as relates to being at equivalent highs. We still have short-term buyers now back into a reset mode. We do see shorts finally fading a bit more as they've taken a couple of gains on some of these dips, and you can see the signs about to dip below the red. That would actually be a bullish reset, go figure. We really haven't reset much. What I love here is that we're at the ABM and pivots below and back above make very easy entries, and we like easy entries. Likewise for the NQ, and there it is, and plateauing across, and that was expected. It finally caught up to the parabolic nature of the move. Likewise for the Dow, as we edge closer and closer to that 20K, which I know they make a big deal about, but we've even talked about as much as 30K, so I don't know why they think that's also that significant, but that's okay. Euro continuing to try and push right back there. We talked about this being resistance. It came right up against that magenta level and rejected off the bottoms right there. We do finally see a reset, though, of the orange, but however, no corresponding support from the steel. In fact, that could present a negative, like it did before, and another run to the downside. TLT, a little bit of support. We moved that down near that magenta stop level, 119.39 range, just slightly above it there, as any rally now would be counter to market forces, so you'd want to lock it in and be set to go. And USO hanging on exactly where we'd like to see it. GLD, yeah, gold still going to suffer. Slightly askew on my recording right here. So looking at the 5K chart, we ended up with, short going, we had the DOC spread that took place all the way back over there, but really started its divine definite turn right back over here. And then we dipped all the way to the bottom. We started to get these series of little orange dips. It was just coming a little late, though, for the triggers. They weren't in alignment with the dip turnaround, and like I like to look at it right here, where you have the orange coming up and then the steel dipping below the 7.5. In this case, stays too high and overbought, not a buy, and sure enough, faded lower. Likewise, it started here, went a couple of bars, and then got right at the peak. And again, you're like, look at these extremes, yellow, right there, -8. It's too frothy. You got to wait for that to ease off a bit. And in this particular case, when it eased off, you got right back to the same situation right there, and took a secondary move for it, but finally got into the oversold right down in here, and then began to make its acceleration. And so, I wouldn't call it terrific from a basing signal. I think you're probably going to have to see a little more work, and you can already see getting pretty far up there as far as previous moves from long-term buyers and that. And so just isn't as much liquidity coming in, and that's why we're seeing the positive extremes or near positive extremes so early on little moves. And that's part of the nature of not seeing a tremendous amount of short cover. And until you see that kind of short covering, that's what you get, is overbought, and it creates these little wave actions. And the same thing on the way back up will be, and would expect that we're going to move right back up to that 2264. I don't know if we'll get to our 23 before the year's end, but it wasn't a requirement of any kind. It was just that we're in a general bullish mode, and none of that's changed, and so we're going to keep going with what is. As always, though, could you look for me on the Skype chat? I'll be back and forth in between as we get ready for the upcoming holiday and this Sunday's memorial for Amy. Thank you again for all your support during this time. As always, trade well, and we'll talk again later.